Ardabil is known to be one of the harder starts in the game, but with this strategy, I was able to form Persia almost every single time. And I did this a total of 3 times. I just changed the name of Persia to Iran. So let me show you what I did different. You start off as Ardabil, a 1 province nation here. You're surrounded by QQ who wants to literally full annex you on day 1. So your first target is going to be Biapas. So I would recommend going in on them on day 1. Get rid of your cavalry regiment and hire the free company and go in on Biapas as soon as you can. I would also recommend hiring mercenaries by taking loans just so that QQ doesn't declare on you early on. You're allied to Jilan, but don't call them in the war against Biapas. They might take a few territories here and we don't want that. You could ally Mushasha, but they're more often than not gonna call you in a defensive war against QQ, which is what happened in this game. But what I would recommend is allying the Bahmanis. Believe it or not, even though you're miles apart from each other, you can actually get Bahmanis as an ally pretty early on. All you need to do is improve relations with them to +100, and after that you should be able to royal marry them, which would remove the unknown relation modifier in the alliance, and for some reason it just doesn't take the distance at all into account. I don't know if this is a glitch or a bug, but you can ally them pretty easily. Yes, Bahmanis is not going to help you in the wars in this region as an ally, but they will help you defensively, stop you from getting declared on by QQ or Ajam or even Timuruz if they survive. So they're a very good defensive ally. As I said, I declared on Biapas. Luckily they had no allies and I caught them off guard, and this is what you should do. Sometimes Biapas will have allies, which will make this war a little more taxing and time consuming. You could save scum this, but honestly it doesn't matter too much. Now after the first war, you need to play the waiting game. You need to wait for Ajam and the Timurid war to take place. Usually Ajam comes out on top because subjects of Timurids aren't loyal to Timurids anymore after the death of Shah Rukh, of course. Either Transoxiana, Khorasan or Afghanistan calls Ottomans and they break free. Try to get Shirvan if you can, because these are good provinces that you can benefit off of, but they usually have QQ or someone as an ally and it's really hard to get them. But if you can catch them off guard, do it. As you can see here, Khorasan broke free. They were the ones who brought Ottomans into the war. And funny enough, Epirus is forming here. Of course, Venice did declare on Byzantium here. So Ottomans are kinda cucked in the early game, but they somehow came out of it, of course, right? Ottomans. And here we see a big Afghanistan. Timurids is just a small province here. And me, I'm just waiting here for an opportunity. QQ just, of course, full annex Mushasha. And unfortunately, I was allied to them and they called me in for a defensive war and I did decline. So here what ended up happening was Ajam declares a war on Jilan because they're the big dog. They have like 26,000 troops, and QQ is called in with Jilan as a defensive ally for Jilan. So I just thought, hey, I have like 12,000 troops as Ardabil, so I just thought, why not just declare on Ajam? The unfortunate thing here is Jilan actually conquered these 2 provinces, which are Ardabil cores, which I couldn't get right away, which is unfortunate, but I did snake through all the way almost to Khorasan here. After the Ajam war, I declared war on Jilan immediately because QQ wasn't ready to defend them for some reason. I think they were in debt or something. And I was just happy. I declared on Jilan, I took back my cores. Here Khorasan declares war on Ajam, and Ajam is even more smaller than whatever they were, right? Once you take out the big power, everyone else declares on them, and Ajam was pretty much dead here. Here I tried to catch Shirvan off guard, and I did. Shirvan didn't have any allies, so slowly but surely I was completing my mission tree. And another tip is to use the Kizilpash. They're a special military type unit. They cost way less to maintain than a regular soldier unit, so I would recommend getting them. And I would also recommend following the mission tree of Ardabil. You get a bunch of bonuses and claims and whatnot. Here I just full annex Shirvan, and here I get Ardalan as a vassal because why not? And as you can see, Venice is strong here. Ottomans are being cucked. This is a very strong Venice that we're seeing this game, but Ottomans do come out of it, of course. So here I did my first war with QQ and that went really nicely. I ended up taking this after a huge war with them, and I ended up refeeding cores to Ardalan as well here. So here QQ was getting declared on by I think the Mamluks, and the Ottomans are also slowly coming in here. So I was allied to Transoxiana here, and all I needed was either Shiraz or Yazd to form Persia. So I was trying to get the war going with Fars, but they were allied to Khorasan, Afghanistan, Transoxiana. I didn't want it to be too taxing, so I was cutting favors with Transoxiana to break alliance with Fars, and now I'm just courting them. I did take a bunch of provinces from Khorasan, formed Persia, formed Iran, and as you can see, I do have the achievement. Here's the achievement pop-up. This achievement is labeled as very hard, but I just did this 3 times in a row, so I'm sure you can too. So this is our current ruler. We formed Iran or Persia in like 70 years as Ardabil, so not too bad. We're gonna get more strong rulers like the Safavids with the mission tree, of course. These are our accepted cultures. We can accept more as well. These are our allies. We're allied to the Ottomans, Mazandaran, and Bahmanis. We're not lacking on any tech other than admin, I would assume. So for the idea groups, we first started off with a mill idea and quality, and then I'm doing religious as well. This is really important if you want to continue this campaign, because this will almost give you a CB on everyone else, especially if you pick the Zoroastrian or the Shia route. The mission tree, I did pick the Shia route, and this is just insane, man. The mission tree gives you so many claims down here and even in India and stuff like that. And very low conversion cost. Look at this ducats, man. 0.01 ducat a month to convert this province. For our subjects, we do have Basra because I don't know, somehow they popped out and I just got them as a subject. For estates, this is my estates. I haven't given anything else. You can check this out here. We do have 42% crown land, which is very nice. This is a very strong Iran. We're not in the great powers list as of right now, but I think we're close to it. The Mamluks is our rival right now, but even if the Mamluks comes to war with me, I can easily hire a merc company and go to war. And my force number is 49, which is pretty nice. If this video helped you, consider subscribing, because I have more EU4 content planned down the line coming your way. And I'm sure you're gonna like this video where I rank every single idea group in the game from worst to best. I'll see you there.